All right, everybody, welcome back. This is the Brian and Rob Show. What episode are we on?
7.
7? Okay. Anyway, hope everybody's having a good day. Everybody but a couple people. Hope you're having a real crappy day. But anyway, here we are again. Another episode of unpreparedness.
Ain't that an answer?
Had a little bit of technical difficulties getting started today, but we got it figured out. So I guess we're just gonna start talking a little bit.
Along.
So, anything happened to you this week interesting?
Yeah, I thought I heard God.
You heard God.
Thought I did.
Okay.
I was up on a ladder working on a friend of mine's place.
Congratulations, well done.
Well done.
Congratulations, well done.
And I'm up on the ladder putting up a point-to-point, and I'm putting it up on the point-to-point up on his house. And all of a sudden, that blew. Ain't nobody out there but me and the animals. And at the blue, I hear, "Are you there?" And I'm like, "What the fuck?" And I said, then I heard, "Rob, can you hear me?" I'm like, "The fuck is that? God, is that you?" And then I hear, "Rob, I think I'm in your pocket." And I pulled my phone out my pocket, and Lord mercy, I done FaceTime my buddy. And I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to call you." He said, it was on, video chat. And old Robert Gentry. He said, that's all right. I was fitting to get out of the hospital. I thought you would call to see how I was doing. I said, well, while we're on the phone, how you doing? I said, I thought you were God for a minute there, Dave.
Oh. And by the way, if you hear a little hum in the background, that's my air conditioner running. Just so you know, it'll turn off in a little bit. I meant to turn it off before we started, but we had so many other problems going on. I didn't even think about it.
Also, if you hear any clinging and clanging and banging around or whatever, Brian's mama's helping him clean up. So
Clean up.
Well, whatever you want to call it.
Getting things prepared to
But she's
get out of this house. Let's put it that way.
She's helping cleaning everything else too, though.
Well, she is. I know.
She's just running around. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, she is. She's helped me a lot.
I had this fella. So, same day, when Robert accidentally called Robert, I went to Food Line and we didn't say you clinging around. You can come on and do what you need to do. But I stopped at the Food Line like I always do about every day, and I was gonna call my old lady and see what she wanted from the Food Line, right? See if she needed anything. And all of a sudden, before I switched the car off, this man and his girlfriend come to the passenger side of the car and start jerking on the handle like right home.
All right.
And I says, I didn't say nothing to begin with. I just looked at it. Well, he looks in the car window and he sees me, and he starts jerking on the handle again.
What in the world?
I know, right? So I rolled down the window a couple of inches and I said, "Hey, boy, what the fuck you think you're doing?" And now, what would your response be to that? If somebody said, "Hey, boy, what the fuck you think you're doing?"
I don't know. I probably would have pulled my gun out
But
and showed it.
No, if you were that guy, you probably I would have been like,
no.
"Oh, I'm sorry, I got the wrong car."
Yeah, right.
Right? And no, his response to me is Michelle in there? And I said, "Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, ain't nobody in the fucking car but me." I said, "Best thing for you to do is quit jerking on my damn handle and get to stepping before I get out of here." And he just turned around and moves it on off.
Well,
That was crazy.
And that's one of the, and I hate to, not to shoot the guy or anything, but that's one of the reasons you carry a firearm. Stupid things like that come across. How are you going to protect yourself?
Hey, we don't get sponsored by these people or anything like that. If they want to sponsor us, that's fine. But have you ever heard of burner launcher?
I have. I've looked a lot of their stuff
Do
up.
you know that you can get bullets for your own gun? So you can get like
rubber?
No, they're kinetic powder.
Okay.
Right? But it's a bullet like a 380 or a 9 mil.
Yeah.
And you load it before your full metal jacket or hollow point, right?
Right.
So it's a warning shot. You shoot the person with it,
Oh, okay.
blast out pepper spray.
I need
and
to look that
everything.
up. I hadn't seen that one.
Yeah. And then, if they don't run, then you can shoot them with the real bullet. But I think that's a good thing that they got.
That's a good deterrent. That way you're not, although a lot of things are self-defense, but you don't ever know these days.
Right, but you got a real round right behind that round is what I'm saying.
Can you put two of those together so you do
put
two
as many as you
shots
want
in
in
a
there,
row?
yeah. You can fill your magazine up with it if you wanted to, but
Yeah, but that ain't gonna help somebody they on drugs. That ain't gonna stop nobody.
shoot them in the mouth.
Crack on, a bullet barely stop them, and then you got to hit them in the right place to stop them. I've heard a lot of stories, especially when I was when I did a lot of work out at the hospital here. You know, the police, not that they shot anybody. I'm just saying, these people come in high as a kite, and nothing fazed them. You could hit them in the head it didn't matter, and they pretty much had to get them strapped down, controlled. And it took 4 or 5 of them to control the guy because he's so hyped up, and so that's what I'm saying. You just don't ever know, and you know I know I've been called too cautious. Well, you know what? I'll be too cautious before I'm not cautious.
In my younger days, I was kind of wild, if you could imagine.
No.
And I've been stabbed twice and shot at once. But I've been in some situations where other people got shot at too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we was at this bar one day. And there was these 2 guys in the parking lot. And one of these was just big old massive color guy, right? And these other guys come up to him and start, I don't know what's going on, right? But it's a argument that kind of ensues. This boy pulls out a gun, shoots the big old black boy in the chest.
Right.
Well, he pulls and shoots, and when he does, he hits him in the chest. And they went running after him. They got away. The guys came back. The police and the ambulance got there. The man in the ambulance that looked at the guy said that he was so damn. He shot him with a 22. Let me say that to begin with. But said he was so damn big that the 22 bullet ricocheted off of him.
Huh?
Hit just right. That it hit him in the chest and ricocheted. Didn't go in.
Okay.
So goddamn Superman.
That's why I don't use 22s.
They found the other people, and inside the car, the other guy had a 44 in there too.
Yeah.
It's a good thing he used the 44.
I know, right? Man. So my daughter, we were talking about the last episode. We were trying some of that nasty stuff from the Netherlands. No offense, but some of that stuff, some of it was really good. Some of it was just pure nasty. But anyway, she was telling me about this Dubai chocolate bar that's supposed to be all the rage on TikTok. So she ordered us one to try. Now supposedly they're really good, and she ordered us some peanut butter. That's kind of it's peanut butter and that chocolate bar mixed together. So that might be interesting.
I've had that.
It sounds really good. So the inside of the chocolate bar is like a pistachio mix, right? So it's the chocolate, pistachio, and then the peanut butter.
I like pistachios.
I do too.
Okay.
So I'm thinking that this might be probably pretty good.
Oh yeah, I ordered just a bag of pistachios by themselves.
But do you know where our next box is coming from? Or we don't know until we get it, right?
No. And it comes. So the payment comes out the first of the month, somewhere in the first,
Right.
second, third. So it should be coming out next week.
Right.
And usually it's here middle of the month. But I don't know where it's coming. I can order other boxes
Right.
from other countries and know where I'm ordering them from. But the ones that they send via the prescription,
Right.
I don't know where they're coming from.
I'm gonna turn my bottle around so I don't have that. Matter of fact, I might put it right there.
I don't nobody care about your Coca-Cola bottle.
Well, I ain't gonna free advertising.
We free advertise.
My free advertisement's right there
Yeah.
for Carolina Security Innovations.
Our sponsor.
Our sponsor, they don't pay us nothing,
Well,
but that's all right. We are Carolina Security Innovations, just so you know.
yeah.
We're just kind of putting a little plug in for ourselves. If you know anybody that needs some home security, business security, whatever security,
Or commercial.
look us up. I think we've got a link on our Facebook page, but if we don't, we'll put one on there. I know I've put a couple things on Facebook.
Is there a link on the YouTube page?
Not to our website, no.
Probably need to put that on there.
And just so you know, we got some specials going on too for home security.
Tell us about the specials, Brian.
Congratulations, well done.
Oh, that was the wrong button. Sorry. So the in-home, if you're home, you can get the control panel, the keypad, which is all in one, 3 door contacts and a motion sensor. Installed, $500. $500 to get all that installed, up and running, and then your monthly monitoring is $34.99 a month, and you use a state-of-the-art app that lets you arm, disarm, whatever you want to do with your system. For a little bit extra, you could add cameras to it. You can buy cameras, put them on there. If you don't want to put it on your app, some people don't like it on the same app. Some people want it on a separate app. So if you want it on a separate app, you can do that too. View your surroundings when you're not there, and also will give you alerts if somebody is there. Speaking of which, we gotta do some corrections on one, but we won't get into that one right now. I just installed some 180 cameras at my dad's house. I've been pretty impressed with them. We set up a motion box around, so set on a schedule. So if you come into that box, little lights on the camera start flashing, and if you want it to say something, it'll say something. And of course, my dad, he's got it set up to say, you're in the danger zone.
You're in a danger zone.
You're in the danger zone. Please leave. And because I can promise you, he wouldn't. If he don't know you and you're out there at 1 o'clock in the morning, he probably ain't gonna ask questions. Especially if you're trying to get in the house.
Yeah.
But I think most people wouldn't. But you try to knock down my front door, I'm gonna shoot through the door. Which is in North Carolina, you can do that. Castle law.
Yep. Right to shoot.
So hopefully you don't come to the door banging and you're drunk and you don't even know what house you're at, because that has happened. That has happened.
Oh, they had they caught them boys, that were kicking in people's doors and shit. There in North Carolina.
Did they?
Yeah. There was 2 sets of them.
Well, they're lucky they didn't get shot.
You got that right. I wish they'd come and kicked in my door.
I know, right?
It wouldn't have took very long. I'm probably right now.
Yeah, I got a 945 and a 12 waiting for them.
They'd left with lead in the ace, I guarantee you. So Brian don't care about this none at all, but I'm curious to see what the draft holds tonight.
The NFL.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I watch the NFL until it gets down to Super Bowl or playoffs time. And
no, but I like to watch the draft, see who goes where, especially who picks up Panthers.
The big problem is now that the people that are getting drafted are already millionaires because of because the NCAA is allowing them to make money anyway. So
I think they should.
Well, I do too, but I don't.
If your school, your college school, is making money on your likeness, then you should be making money on your likeness as well.
Well, you're also getting free education.
If you're that good, you should anyway.
Okay, I agree with that, but millions of dollars?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Now, I think if you're under 18, you should have a conservatory. Someone who looks after your money for you and tells you how much you spend and all that.
Well, I think, and speaking of that, I think the NCAA portal thing, I think there's got to be some controls on that, because these kids are going from school to school to school, whoever's going to pay them the most. Now, do I blame them for if they can make the money? Hey, make the money.
Well, the portal is fine, because, in my opinion, it's fine. Let me say it that way.
I personally think it should be capped.
Now, to be honest, I don't know enough about it to talk a whole lot about it. But if you're a recruiter, say, for Georgia or Alabama or anywhere like that, one of the top SEC teams, right?
Right.
Or Florida. Florida's a good one too, right?
Yeah.
And you're looking at pulling people from, Penn State or something more like that. And you're like, hey, this guy's the best of the best in kickers, right? Whatever.
Right.
Well, he can go through the portal and get picked up by any of those 3 teams, say. Right?
Well, I know, but
he would have been recruited anyway.
Well, it's just like the NFL, though. They're going to the highest, whoever's going to be the highest paid.
That's right, but
that's what I'm saying.
That school would have drafted him anyway.
Some of these schools are not going to compete with Alabama.
No, you can't.
Yeah, You're just not gonna compete.
Appalachian State ain't competing with Alabama, right?
No, but Appalachian State pulled up some upsets.
Yeah.
But
Them big old mountain boys.
I went to one of the App State games one time. I forgot who they were playing, and it was a big school.
Yeah.
Right. It's pretty. And I want to say it was. I want to say it was even Carolina, but I can't remember. But they came down. They needed a field goal to win, and the field goal, it was about 25-yard field goal, right? So they got out there to timeout. They're gonna freeze the kicker. Yeah. Let me tell you something. That dude, that field goal kicker, bless his heart. I know that was a tremendous amount of pressure, but let me tell you something. He missed that goalpost by 30 yards.
Good Lord.
It was probably the worst kick I've ever seen. And, the pressure was probably, I think he was a freshman. So, but the nerves are there, I'm telling you. But that's why you practice. You practice. So that kind of it's a routine, although it's a big moment in the game. But it's so routine at that point, that distance, it should be pretty much automatic. And, it's just like we're watching the Masters, right? And Rory McIlroy.
Yeah.
He was on the 18th green. He had a putt, makes it, he wins. He pulled it just a little bit, and he missed it, so he had to go into a playoff. He still ended up winning in the playoff, but golf, I get the pressure on that because, you're talking $8 million. I make this putt, I'll get $8 million, right, or whatever. That's nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Even on my case, and I don't even get paid. I got a little 3-foot putt, and I was like, oh, this is for par. I put so much pressure on myself, it ain't even funny. But
I like golf, but I ain't playing unless I'm drinking. So
yeah.
by the time we get to the 18th hole, I can't even see the damn ball. I'm just praying I hit it.
Well, I actually know people that play better when they are drunk. So
I play pool better when I'm drunk.
Well, sorry, I don't mean to keep jerking my head. My cables just keep. I wonder if I could get the Bluetooth things and connect them with this so I can hear. I don't know.
But these people don't care about that.
I know, but it's annoying. Let's see if I can get it there.
I'm sure you could. I got a thing we can do that with. Yeah.
But I got a couple stories that I could talk about, but I can't talk about it right now. But
we're talking about we're talking about the draft tonight. Cam Ward, you know Cam Ward out of Florida. He's supposed to be number 1 pick, quarterback. And Tennessee's supposed to be. Everybody's got them Tennessee picking him up because they got the first round pick.
Right.
And they're first in the first round pick because they suck so bad.
Who, the Panthers?
Titans.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Panthers are right there with them, I think, aren't they?
I think the Panthers are like 5th or 6th. Hell no, look, see. Panthers are number 8.
Number 8.
Yeah.
Not that I don't know.
And Jalen Walker is who they're looking to pick up in this mock right here.
Yeah.
And this is CBS mocks.
Right.
I don't know why they picked Jalen Walker because he's a quarterback, linebacker.
Right.
So I think they need something better than a linebacker.
Who, the Panthers?
Carolina needs a whole nother team.
They need another team. You got that right. Well, I think they were headed that way until the owner died.
Yeah. Right,
and it got bought out or took over or whatever, and they just haven't been able to seem to compete. They can't get the right people or.
But you're talking about App State 3 or 4 years ago, Bo. They're doing real good.
Oh yeah.
They were like, wow, they've come and done some things here.
They have dropped down a lot.
Yeah.
So I was talking to Rachel, my daughter, and she's like, when you talk, you need to start going up and down with your voice, and so it's not so I know I can be monotone and I'm hard to listen to sometimes, but I thought that was funny. I don't know how to do that or work on it.
I don't care.
I know you don't. You don't care about anything.
Not much. Care about going fishing and drinking beer.
But so what about this in the news? This India Pakistan thing
Boy,
that's
they're reading all
firing
about
up.
that. That is great. That is great. So if the folks don't know these, so Kashmir with a K, supposedly, and this is what India has said, that Pakistan took gunmen and killed 26 civilians, innocent women, men, children, right, and just massacred.
Was that Pakistan Army or was that just Pakistan people?
Supposedly it's a faction of Pakistan that are rebels. Yada, yada, yada.
Okay.
But India is pissed off. So they have told any of the Pakistani nationals that have a visa or in India, they have the Sunday to get the fuck out. they have canceled or whatever you want to call it, visa.
If you're Pakistani, why would you want to go live in India?
I don't know, but then they have a water trade deal. I can't pull it up right now, but it don't matter. It's a water trade deal that they've canceled too. So it's a clean water trade deal. I know we don't give you any more clean water.
To Pakistan?
Yeah. I mean, they're on the edge. I think they're on the edge of going to war, boy. Like, fuck them people.
Yeah, I remember back, I don't know, was it in the 80s, late 80s? They were at war all the time.
Yeah.
They were always at war.
Well, all them Middle Easterners, Iraq, Iran, Pakistani, India, they always doing something. They hate each other. And it only takes one little thing, and now I'm going to get me wrong, if they actually, now they are saying that, the Pakistanis are saying that they didn't have anything to do with this killing, that it was the Kashmir Resistance, I think it's the name of the group.
Uh-huh.
That did it, and they were a militia group that they're not have anything to do with it. But then India saying, yeah, it was Pakistan that done it, and Pakistan.
So maybe Pakistan should go after that group of whoever caused it. I don't know. I mean, it's just like a.
You reading what's in the news, and it's like, damn, and you're thinking, okay, here we got another war, another Russia-Ukraine war here coming. Who you gonna stand for? What flag you gonna fly?
Well,
I had to say India because we get more stuff from India.
I'm gonna have to say India too. Pakistan's never really done us any favors. I don't.
They make clothing. That's all I know.
I don't see why they're that important to us anyway.
I've seen stuff on the clothing that said made in Pakistan.
No, I've never.
Well, I believe I have.
I've seen India. I've seen, of course, China.
Taiwan's all
Taiwan.
Over. Yeah.
That's probably why China wants Taiwan, because they make so much stuff. I don't know.
Well, let me tell you something.
I don't understand China.
I was talking to your mama earlier a while ago, right? And when I got here earlier. And I'm going to ask you a question because you didn't even hear this conversation. But I'm going to get your opinion, all right?
All right.
Now, regardless of how you feel or don't feel about Donald Trump, regardless if you voted for him or didn't vote for him, right? Something happened this week that, in my opinion, the people that don't like Donald Trump, I can understand it. This is the one thing that I can understand why you say, this is the guy, right?
Right.
So, a couple of weeks ago, we got 145% tariffs put on China, right?
Right.
So, anything China buys from us is going to cost them out the ass, whatever, right? Well, 2 days ago, Donald Trump flips on that and says, oh, no, we love China. We're going to work a deal out. All right? And so you say in 1 week, fuck China. The next week, we love China. We're going to work a deal out. I get why he does it.
Yeah, I do too.
I get that. But I also understand why other people would be like, this is why I don't like him, because of flip-flopping.
Well, it
is flip-flopping. I believe you stand for you stand.
You could consider it flip-flopping, I guess. But I also look at it as, it's, Donald Trump, whether you like him or not, is a master negotiator.
He's a business sure.
And he knows how to negotiate, and he knows, and he might have been playing that. He might have been playing it to get to this point to say, hey, we want to work out the deal. Now, granted, a lot of this is part of why when all of our stuff got shipped over to China to get made instead of us doing it here, it hurts us because if this kind of stuff happens, everything that we have, what I don't even know the percentage. Maybe they can Google that.
Ain't no telling. Well, you pick up anything.
50%, 50%, 60, 70% of what here is made in China.
I don't know where it's cut made, but it's probably made in China.
And labor rates are cheaper and everything else, but
This is your second problem right here.
well, yeah,
They didn't announce that if China didn't make telephones, if they had to be made in the United States, that the cost of a phone that cost you $800 would go up almost double.
right.
And the major phone companies, the three major phone companies, already said that if they do, they won't take that loss because someone would have to eat that cost.
Well, sure, but that's one of the being made in America. These people get paid $35 to turn a screw, or to watch something go by, or something. And I don't have a problem with people making a living or making they gotta, but to pay, what's that? That's $30 an hour. What's that? $1,200 a week.
Sure. 48.
I mean, I know it's not a
60,000 a year.
60,000 a year to
Yeah.
watch parts go by.
That's union for you.
Do what union?
A lot of that's union for you.
Yeah, right. So, and I'm not saying don't pay them a fair wage but $30 an hour, I'd have a hard time doing that because there's no skill involved.
What's a fair wage? Now let's talk about that for a minute because we haven't prepared for this at all, right? But when so
if you're going to pay them $30 an hour,
the minimum wage act, right?
Yeah,
minimum wage is what, $7? I don't even think it's that.
$7.45, I think.
Is that? I have no clue even what minimum wage.
We can Google that real quick.
But it ain't shit, regardless of what it is.
No, and I've had this discussion with other people. Minimum wage is something that's not designed for you to live on.
What's it designed for then?
Minimum wage is a entrance level. The kids out of high school, kids in high school, you go to McDonald's, you make minimum wage, you get a little bit of a paycheck. It's not made to live on. It's not made to live on. That's a starting point.
I agree with you 100%. Right, but the problem we have is that unless you're in an industry like a tech job or something like that,
$7.25 an hour.
$7.25 an hour.
Now, granted, that's you can't live on that.
Hell no.
But that's what I'm saying. It's not. Minimum wage is not a living wage. It's
right, but let's say you don't have a good skill set, right? You didn't go to college, right? Because you didn't do that great in high school, right?
Well, they're probably on Social Security too.
Well, they're not mentally handicapped or anything like that. So let's not say they're on Social Security. They're not doing drugs. They're trying to work. They're out there in a field like a construction field, right?
Well, you're not gonna make that in construction.
Hold on just a minute, though. But that's all they have to pay, right, to begin with.
Right.
So you're doing, what do you call it? Apprenticeship? When you're doing your apprenticeship for an electrician,
right?
Okay, I agree. More than likely, you're going to make about $10 an hour, right, to begin with, as an apprentice.
Right.
And then once you move into a journeyman, then what does your wage go to? That should be a competitive market.
It really depends on your skill level, but you get the problem with starting out in that kind of thing. You learn stuff at such a slow rate, and when I did
that's the individual.
It is, but it's not, because I know people that have been doing electrical work and they're just now getting, like in Virginia, they're just now getting the journeyman, and they've been doing it for 7 or 8 years.
I had my journeyman at 18.
Well, I just North Carolina.
I was doing it since I was 10.
You got to pass certain stuff
to get your journeyman. I did
to get that qualification, yeah, right? So when I was doing electrical work, I worked for a guy, and it was pretty much me and him. He was the boss man, and I learned more from him in a year than most people learn in 3 or 4 years. I was wiring houses by myself. I had to learn. Dadgummit, probably I wasn't the head of it, but I started it and I did a lot of it, most of it at a nursing home, and wired it, pulled the cable, and me and another guy, and made all the connections. And I didn't do the main panels because I wasn't that experienced and I wasn't gonna get in behind that high voltage and stuff.
Mhm.
But
Well, my dad growing up had his own business, and then he went to work for Wilson and Cofield and worked for them for years. And I did an apprenticeship during the summer at Wilson and Cofield when I was 17.
right,
All right, and then when I graduated high school, in between college and working, I worked at Wilson and Cofield.
yeah,
I should say I got my German at 19 because at 18 I started working there. I was there for the first year. I think my paycheck was $4.50 an hour. Right?
oh, I remember making $3.25 an hour.
Yeah. So anyhow, that first year, worked for $4.50. The next year, I got my paycheck and it was almost doubled.
Right.
One week I went, and Miss Alice was the one that was in the office, and I took my paycheck and handed it back to Miss Alice. I said, "I think you made a mistake on here." And she said, handed it back to me. She said, "Nope, you're a foreman now."
But if you guys are listening to us out there, drop us a note. What you think?
But that Wilson Cofield and Mark Woodcock is still running the company out of his house, but they basically went bankrupt, and he took it all back to his house and left it there and just
Right.
cut it down to him and I think him and Pat. But it was a great company. It really was. They did my daddy so good. His daddy owned it. Marvin Woodcock owned it, and Wallace Barber owned it before that. And my daddy, when I was little, he cut his hand off, and his lawnmower accident, right? He was
Right.
cut the ditch bank, hit a dual wheel lawnmower, was cut the ditch bank, and the lawnmower turned over on top of him. And I was in the house, my mom was in the house, and we could hear daddy outside, and my mama said, "Go out and see what your daddy is hollering about," right? So I went out to see what my daddy was hollering about, and he was coming out of the ditch bank holding this hand in the other hand. So the lawnmower blade, the gas was, he said later on, the gas was pouring out on him, and then he thought he was going to catch on fire.
Right.
So he went to push the lawnmower off. When he did, his hand went in the belly of the blades,
Oh.
and the blade hit right there and went all the way down like that, cut his whole hand off. Well, he stayed in surgery for
That's not good.
about 16 hours. Right? They reattached his hand and everything was fine. He lost a lot of motion in his thumb and strength, but it took about a year and a half for him to heal. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And Wallace Barber come to the house every day and handed Daddy a paycheck every week and handed Daddy a paycheck. Now this happened at the house, not on job site or anything like that, right? And he'd come every Thursday and he'd sit down and talk with us and have a drink and hand Daddy his paycheck and tell Daddy, when you get better, come on back to work. And he did that for 18 months. And when Daddy was fine and better, he went back to work with him.
Well, that's good.
I mean, ain't many companies that do that shit no more.
No. You don't find. Yeah, companies just don't do stuff like that anymore.
And Daddy won't no salary. He was an hourly worker.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that good company, good people. Like I say, I know Mark's still running it out of his house in Youngsville.
You think interest rates are going to come down?
Shit, no. Interest rates are not, this is not a buyer's market.
Not right now it is, but you think, give it a year or so, you think they're going to come down? You don't
No.
think so?
I don't think they'll ever come back down like they were.
Yeah. If the economy can get fixed, it might.
I don't think they'll ever come back down like they were. I think you'll get probably down 5 or 6, but that's about the lowest you'll ever see it again.
That's probably going to hurt housing market.
It's going to have to adjust for it.
Well, I've heard a lot of, I've read some stuff on it say that, they're about to have another, I guess, collapse.
Yeah.
Of what houses are worth. And I mean, rent, let's just talk about rent. Rent is just absolutely ridiculous
I don't know. I ain't never read
Well,
it.
because of circumstances, I've been looking at stuff, and dadgummit, 950 square foot is $1,500 a month. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. That's more than my house payment,
Yeah.
and even at a 6% interest rate.
Yeah.
But and I get the people that own the stuff. They gotta make money too. But that, and the houses are just getting ridiculous.
Let me tell you what my buddy's going through, Bo. Oh my God.
Oh Lord.
So talking about housing, it's just I ain't gonna say no names because I don't want to get nobody in trouble, right?
Right.
But him and his ex-wife owned a house, right?
Right.
His ex-wife signed over and released all property to him,
Okay.
saying that she didn't, whatever, right? She didn't want to have nothing to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
So she signed a piece of paper saying, signing her rights away to any of the property. That's what it was. All right. So he was looking to sell his house, right?
Uh-huh.
He's thinking about buying another house. The bank is making him, because they're both on the loan, even though she signed that paper all the way, the bank is making him refinance and repay closing costs. To get her name off of the loan, he has to redo it and repay. I think it was $3,000 in closing costs.
Well, couldn't he just go do a quit claim deed and take her off the deed?
Nope.
Well, that don't even make sense.
No, I tell you, that's what he's fighting right now. I said, and they told him he had to pay $3,000 in closing costs to get her off of the note. Now
I don't understand why they just can't transfer.
I said, why in the hell you got to pay them? I said, all right, you're not refinancing it, but making a new loan on the house, right?
Well, it could be because when they bought the house in both of their names, and they used both their credit.
Probably, maybe. Well, let's just say that, right?
Right.
But so he's got $100,000 in equity in the house, right?
Yeah.
Why can't they take it out of the equity? Why does he got to physically pay them $3,000?
I don't know why they couldn't. I'd go find somebody else to get a loan from.
That is what they're telling him.
No, I'd go find another loan company. What I'd do.
I was like, that is crazy.
If I've got to refinance it, I'm gonna go find another loan company.
That's the craziest thing ever.
Who's the guy?
State employees.
Oh well, I'd still go look for another company.
I mean, I understand what you're saying. By the way, so I used to be a state employee as well. If you are looking in the housing market and you buy a house, get the loan through state employees if you're a state employee, and you can have state employees take the payment of your house out of your check pre-taxed, so you don't have to pay taxes on that money.
That was about 15 years ago, so you might want to double check. Make sure that's still in play.
Ask them anyway, because that's what my loan officer told me it did for me. So,
Rodney, I can't Google that one, buddy. So, just Rob's I don't even know if I need Google. I just need Rob. Right?
Yeah, I've been through enough shit. I know a little bit I don't know everything about everything, but I know a little bit about everything.
Hey, Rob.
Hey. You might get some sarcasm on your way back, though.
Well, yeah.
On your answer back.
That's expected.
Yeah. But yeah, he told me that story last week, man. Like, God damn, that's the craziest thing I've ever heard. There's no way you should have to repay closing costs that you've already paid.
Yeah.
On a house that you've got $100,000 in equity in.
They should be able to roll any of that kind of crap into the loan.
I told him, you know what I told him? I said, borrow $100,000 on the equity. Borrow the equity on the house and then pay the house off.
Pay the loan. Yeah.
Pay the rest of the loan off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would make sense. Yeah. Probably get a lower interest rate
right.
too. Yeah, that might be worth checking into right there. I'm ready to go. I want to go out in the water. I want to go fishing.
I told him to do that, and I also told him when you do it, defer payments for 6 months, so you don't have to pay anything for 6 months.
Well, that's if he could do that would make perfect sense. But the home equity loan would still be in both their names, though, right?
No, what I'm saying is, so house is $180,000.
Right.
He owes $80,000 on it.
Yeah.
He got $100 in equity. Borrow $100,000.
Can he do that just in his name off that house, though?
Go borrow $100,000 in his name
from somewhere else.
from the same bank. I don't care where you borrow it from, because you're doing the loan as an equity, right? See, he's already got pieces of paper. If he wanted to sell the house, right,
Yeah.
and not, he could sell it with that piece of paper that he got from her. Just like when my mom and dad died, I got the same piece of paper from my little brother,
Right.
saying that he didn't want anything involved in it, right?
Right.
Well, now that he's dead, I don't need a piece of paper anymore, but, whatever. But that was a way for me to be able to sell the house if I was going to sell it without him, because he was in prison, right?
Right. Right.
Without him having to come and sign anything. And I'm assuming that his ex-wife's paper is the same type of deal, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't sell the house, obviously, but I could have. That was the point. And but what my thing was, okay, I got $100,000 in equity. I owe the $80,000, right?
Yeah.
Let's take $20,000 and do what we want to with it, or put it in savings, whatever you want to do with it.
What I'm asking is if he goes and takes and
Pay
if he
the
goes
house.
and takes a home equity loan against the house, can he get that equity loan just in his name?
He can get it in just his name, right?
Because if I
But
can do that,
the
I'll do that. And
Paying
pay
off
the
the
house.
house, and he don't care. But if he does that and pays off the house, it'll go on her credit as well.
Yeah, saying it's been paid off.
Right, right.
But that takes.
He don't
care
care about that, right?
That takes care of a lot of red tape, though.
Yeah, that's what I told him to do. I said,
If you work at a bank or something, let us know. Drop us a note.
but that was my thought. Do that. Borrow the equity loan on the house, pay the house off, get the deed, full and
Right.
clear,
Right.
and be done with it. I said, hell, if you want to give her $3,000, give her $3,000 to make her happy,
Yeah.
Look, they're both divorced, and been divorced for like 4 or 5 years, both remarried, have kids by other people.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a whole thing, right? So,
Right.
And they live like, I don't know, maybe a mile from each other. So ain't no bad blood or nothing,
Right.
It's just,
I don't. I need to get my boat fixed.
oh Lord, that's a topic changer.
Huh?
That's a topic changer. That was a real steer right to the right.
Well, I know.
Twirl.
But it just crossed my brain, and I'm like, I like to be out on the water. It relaxes me and it helps me think. But yeah, and also please don't let my boat break down. But I love being out in the water. Now I go fish. I've done a lot of fishing in Pamlico River, and I'll have to say I'm probably not a good I'm not a good fisher guy.
I love to fish.
I'll either catch them and they're too small, or but
The bigger the hook, the bigger the bait.
I might be trying to fish the wrong time of day. I don't know. It might be the wrong bait. I don't know. I'm trying to learn. But the main thing is just being out on the water. I don't really care if I do want to catch stuff. Don't get me wrong, but being out on the water just is something that's calming. And we need to
Now, I like catching fish.
we need to look at a charter.
Just being out on the water don't mean shit to me. I like catching fish.
Well, yeah, I do too. Don't get me when I say that, but even if I don't catch fish, it's a good day for me because it's peace. But
Well, I could be sitting on a pier, drinking beer, listening to music, catching sheephead, and be just as peaceful as I can be.
as long as there's a breeze.
Scientifically, let me tell you what they scientifically say, right? Scientifically, they say that the smell of salt water will lower stress by 20%.
I believe it.
Not even seeing it, just the smell of it.
I believe it. Maybe one of our podcasts, one of our YouTube, whatever we want to call it, we'll talk about some fishing lures and what's the best lure that whatever you're fishing for.
Okay, well,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah, and I don't use a lot of lures. I use a lot of
Live bait, whatever. You know what I'm saying. Now I'll have to say I used the artificial, and at the Gulp.
Yeah, Gulp makes a good
electric something. It was called. It was green and pink, fluorescent pink, right? So
it's on salt water.
salt water,
You fishing flounder?
flounder.
Yeah.
And I want, of course, I called it off season, but that thing hit my line. Well, I lost a couple of them because it didn't get the hook. It just bit the tail of the fish. And so I said, well, next time I'm just going to give it a minute and let it see if it comes back. And it did. And that flounder, I mean, that thing was like this, right? And I'm like, but I couldn't keep him because they were out of season.
Mm-hmm.
And so I didn't even know why. I wasn't really fishing for flounder, but I just kind of caught it.
Gulp has a 4-inch whitefish. Right? It's
Yeah.
a solid white lure. It's shaped like a fish. We use them a lot for red drum.
Oh. Maybe that's why I didn't catch. I've caught a few red drum, but they're always too small. I had to throw them back.
The one I'm talking about is about 4 inches.
So what time do you? What's a good time to? I mean, do they like evenings or mornings or?
Well, I catch red drum all the time, but you catch them in shallows, right? But first thing in the morning, they're more active.
At the river or what?
Yeah, so where we fish at a lot, if anybody know, you know where Radio Island is?
Yeah.
So on the backside of Radio Island, take the little boat out there, and there's a bunch of grass all out there in the back.
Right.
That's where mostly we fish for red drum
I
at.
gotcha.
There, or if you go down to Oriental,
Yeah.
it's on the Pamlico as well. Anywhere down there near the rocks.
So I had to,
There's red drum and stripers all down there, boat.
got the boat ready. My brother-in-law Hop, he helped me change the hubs, and of course I've never done any kind of thing like that, so I didn't know how to really do it. And then when he did it, I felt stupid because I'm like, oh my gosh, I could have had this fixed a long time ago, but I just didn't know, and I guess I could have YouTubed it, but everything you see on YouTube, they make it more complicated. Some of them do, and but anyway. Had to get new tires. Tires were dry rotted. Couldn't take that out. But anyway, I got the trailer ready now. If I can going through all this crap, and but I need to go get it maintenance, go get the oil changed and that kind of stuff, and then I can take it out on the water. I'd feel more comfortable taking it out on the water. But I've had some of the the material, the seats and stuff. Some of those have ripped.
Mm-hmm.
It over time, and I need to get that fixed. But that's an over time thing. But I don't at this point, if it'll go and get me out on the water and I can do a little bit of fishing, and I don't really care. That's all I want to do. To get a buddy, or if you wanted to come down there, but
shirt naked and silver bullets.
I don't know about that. Rob's gonna be on the front bow while we're going down the road. Woohoo!
That's right.
Oh,
Don't drink it if the mountains ain't blue.
I've seen a lot of videos where these people are driving their boats, and the people are sitting on the front of the boat, right? And
That'd be the bow.
Yeah.
Not stern.
But this happened to a kid in New Bern a few years ago. He was on the bow of the boat, and they were going down there. He fell off.
Oh shit!
And
hit the road.
Well, they don't know. They didn't find him for a few days.
Oh god!
And but they say, well, if you fall off the bow, chances are the motor's going to get you, right? The blades.
Yeah.
But that kid, they found him a few days later, and I felt sorry for the family, and I actually knew one of the kids on the boat that knew the kid, right? And that can be traumatic. But anyway, I won't let anybody sit on the bow of the boat, close to it. If you're going to sit on, you're going to be on the sides.
Well, you got seats on your bow.
I do. Well, they're not on the bow.
They're at the bow. That's what I'm saying.
They kind of come up.
They're like couch seats.
They're
right?
in the boat.
Yeah.
So you're not sitting on the boat.
Yeah.
And I would never do anything like that. That's just dangerous, in my opinion. Now, if you want to do it, that's up to you. That's you. But the older I get, the more cautious I have become, I think is the word. But What about you?
Depends on how much I've had to drink. I mean, yeah, I'm cautious up until about 12.
Yeah, I'll take Rob out on the boat, and I'm gonna have to. I'll be going down. If I'll sudden stop because he's gonna do something stupid.
I mean, I told you about the story where I jumped out to swim with the fucking dolphins, the wild dolphins.
Well, yeah, but that's well.
The boat was moving.
I don't know if that's stupid. I mean, that's just you just weren't thinking.
I was drunk.
Rachel told me that my grandson Bentley, he loves watching us.
Oh, good.
She watches it. He watches it. He gets a kick out of
Oh,
something.
hell, if we don't do anything for anybody else, we do it for Bentley.
I know, right? But anyway, hit that. If you have a comment to make to us, we'd love to hear from you. And I know that we say that every episode,
But we do mean it.
But we do mean it. We want you to.
Brian tried to break my fucking leg today, so
Well, not on purpose.
that's why I'm rubbing my leg.
Yeah, you know,
Anyhow, about Bentley. Go ahead.
heavy furniture doesn't feel good when it
Well,
falls
you
off.
sure as fuck don't. I'm going right now. Damn. What about Bentley now? He like watching this and.
Well, he liked us doing the food tasting stuff.
Oh, okay.
He thought we should do more of that kind of stuff. And
Okay. I saw one I told Brian about. It's called the Wasabi Challenge. Where you take the wasabi and you put it in a teaspoon and you got to eat it. And you kind of you're supposed to make a face while you're eating it. I like wasabi, but I don't know if I like that much.
I've never had. I don't know. I'd have to have something near
You
me.
got to have your whole jug of water with you because that shit hot.
Yeah, I know. That's I don't do hot very well. I like spicy. I like flavor, but I don't like hot.
Wasabi hot.
And I've never tried it. So
Well,
anyway, there's my mama.
she got a note for you. She said, I always say, hair the hell up, I'm ready for lunch. That's what it said.
So just Easter was last week or whatever. It was pretty funny. My daughter sent me a picture of my grandson Jace. He's the younger one, and he had a suit on. He said put the suit on. She was trying everything on. He said I look like Donald Trump.
With his suit,
No, it was Jace.
with a little suit tie. Do you have a red tie on?
Yeah. And he said I look like Donald Trump. I thought that was funny. I don't know how he.
You got blonde hair?
I don't really say anything to him, but I guess I don't know. It's shaved,
Oh, well.
so I couldn't tell you. But anyway,
I got to pee here pretty soon. What time?
well,
is it?
I think we might start wrapping this one
Oh, well,
up.
good. Cause it's kind of pressing right now.
So that being said, all right, everybody, hit that like and subscribe button. Drop us a note, please. I hate begging for that every time.
Oh,
But
yeah.
anyway, Rob's got to go.
Peace out.
We'll see you.